Hello everyone, welcome to the editorial analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, and today's video is for the day 29th of March 2025. So these are the topics for discussion. So the first article title, India's geopolitical vision should be larger, discusses about the India's foreign policy and the involvement, and it's from the Hindu. And the next article title, Advantage of China in Africa's energy market, from the Hindu again, discusses about the relation of China and Africa and their involvement through the nuclear energy projects and other countries' stance and their challenges. So without any much delay, let's get into the articles discussion one by one along with the mains practice question. So look into the news. It discusses about India's foreign policy. So why it is in the news? Because India has refrained from active political involvement in major geopolitical conflicts according to this article. So the article titled India's geopolitical vision should be larger brings in us different perspectives on how India should move on toward time for a shift and also reform to bring in even more enhanced strategic advancements and relations with other global powers. So in light of this article, let us see the history about different phases of India's foreign policy in different time period. And this comes under the syllabus of UPSC for mains in the GS paper 2 under international relations. So let's first look into the evolution of Indian foreign policy from the year of 1947, that is from the independence to 1962, and it is known as Nehruvian non-alignment movement. So here it was led by our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and the focus was on non-alignment after the Cold War and bringing in sovereignty and having anti-colonialism movements. So the key events included led on non-alignment movement in 1955, then bringing in Panchsheel agreement to have peace relations with the China in 1954, and we also advocated for decolonization and encouraged independent nations. So the major shift was seen after in 1962, that is after India and China war, where we had the need to bring in even more enhanced strategic rethink. So it led to the time period of realism and strategic partnerships in our Indian foreign policy. So it happened from the year of 1962 to 1991. So here it involved leaders Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, where they had their major focus for a country, India, and its foreign policy through enhancing the security, having regional dominance, military strength and economic growth. So here it included key events such as the 1971, which is the Treaty of Friendship, which was signed between India and USSR, and next would be Bangladesh Liberation Movement, where India was played a key role in it in 1971, and India conducted their first nuclear test, the Pokhran, in 1974. So these events all enhance the security, regional dominance as well as the military strength. After 1991, we had a major shift in our Indian foreign policy, that is during the USSR collapse in 1991. So us for a country, we brought in more importance of economic shift and economic diversification for us, for our country to be even more stable during such global collapse. So in the evolution of Indian foreign policy, it led to economic liberalization and global integration from 1991 to 2000, which is the period of LPG. So here it was led by PV Narasimha Rao, and the focus was more on economic diplomacy, globalization and multi-alignment. From non-alignment, we have moved as a country way forward to enhance in multi-alignment, and it involved key events such as the economic reforms which happened in 1991, such as the LPG, where we opened markets, and next key event would be including the Look East policy, where it enhanced the ASEAN ties, to enhance the ASEAN ties, that is the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations, and again we did nuclear test in 1991 to enhance our strategic deterrence. So after this, there was again a major shift which was in early 2000s, where after our country facing the importance of being the multi-alignment, we brought in global partnerships beyond the region. So after giving importance for regional diplomacy, we brought in the importance for global diplomacy and global partnerships. So it led to the emerging power and strategic balancing period from the year of 2000 to 2014. It was one of the shift in the evolution of our Indian foreign policy. So it was led by many leaders such as Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Manmohan Singh, where their focus was more on global partnerships, defense, energy security, and military importance. So it involves key events such as the Indo-US nuclear deal between India and US in 2008, their partnership, then having defense and energy ties with countries such as Israel and Gulf countries. Then India joined the BRICS in 2009, and it led to Indian Ocean maritime expansion. So where we gave importance to Indian Ocean region especially. So after this, it again led to a major shift after the year of 2014, where we moved towards even more enhancement of multi-alignment and self-reliance as a country. So it led to a major evolution of our Indian foreign policy from the year of 2014 till present, where we gave importance for multi-alignment in a multipolar world. So it was led by our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, where the focus was more on multi-alignment, having Indo-Pacific strategy and economic leaderships. So here it involved key events such as neighborhood first policy to stronger our regional ties with the neighborhoods. It enhanced again the Look East policy, which included ASEAN, Japan, and Australia. And also through Quad, we brought in the importance of Indo-Pacific security ties, especially during the period of COVID-19. The one of the most deadly pandemic, we brought in the vaccine diplomacy, where we aided to almost 100 plus nations. And recently we are bringing in the importance of digital diplomacy through our schemes and initiatives, where there is importance for AI and cyber security leadership. So right from 1947 till present, we have seen the focus and the changes throughout the years of our Indian foreign policy till now. So let's look into the advantages of this multi-alignment. First, to have a strategic autonomy. So instead of depending on a one singular block, we believed in multi-alignment. Then having economic diversification with different countries through different partnerships, then bringing in defense security, having energy security. Right now we are moving towards having a multi sustainable developed countries, and bringing in the global importance of global influence through different partnerships, having conflict neutrality, so there is balance of check even between the countries, and bringing the importance of tech and strategic ties, so there is reducing of the digital gap and increasing of the digital diversification, and having geopolitical strength finally through having different partnerships through SEO, through Quad, through BeamStech, through ASEAN, etc. But we should also see the disadvantages of this multi-alignment. It leads to lack of strong alliances. When there is multi-alignment, we won't have much reliance on one particular strong alliance. The next is balancing challenges, as we are in multiple partnerships with the rivalry powers such as the US, China. So through balancing through the issues such as the BRI project, we need to balance a lot of challenges. Then risk of strategic ambiguity. So having multi-alignment relations, it leads to us having different strategies for different countries. So it leads to ambiguity and not having one particular plan. Next is dependence on multiple suppliers, such as us being dependent on oil and natural gas suppliers. Then having pressure from global powers, especially in way important forums such as the WTO, UN, ICG, and so on. And having economic vulnerability, where because of this multi-alignment, we need to align our challenges in regarding to the funds allocation, and it can lead to slow decision making as it involves multiple stakeholders. So these can be the disadvantages of multi-alignment as well. So how to overcome this ambiguity in multipolar world? Bringing in clear strategic priorities, so in accordance to the national interest of our country India, as well as for the people on its first base. So more than neighborhood first policy, it should be for people of India's first policy. Next is having issue based alignment. So according to the issues, there can be alignment of different national interest problems. Next is institutional strengthening, such as importance of BIMSTEC, as I told, ASEAN, then through SARC, we can bring in the importance of regional importance and enhancing regional leadership. Then having diversified economic and defense ties, bringing in the importance of indigenous development in the economic and defense ties, so it makes us even more self-reliant in the multipolar world. And having strategic communication through the advancement of technology, AI and other infrastructures. So there is a smooth supply of logistics, supply chain, and also interoperability. So let's look a way forward. Having strategic balancing, managing US-China rivalry, strengthening Quad, BRICS, bringing leadership importance, such as I told before, SARC, BIMSTEC, ASEAN and African relations, economic and tech growth, focusing on trade, AI, semiconductors, space explorations, and having defense and security enhancements to boosting, as I told before, indigenous defense protection, strengthening Indo-Pacific maritime security. So I hope the article is clear. It's a very big article to understand, as that it brings in different perspectives. So I ask the students to attempt this question, as you guys can also have a perspective on the multipolarity. So this is the question: in an era of multipolarity, India's foreign policy is driven by strategic balancing, regional leadership, economic growth and defense security. So you should know that all of these are different sectors. So every these four sectors need points which are adhering to these perspectives along with examples. So critically analyze this question. It comes for 15 marks for 250 words. So put your answer in the comment section. Look into the news article here. China is expanding its presence in Africa's nuclear energy sector. So this raises strategic and energy security concerns. So we all know Africa as a country, they have been suffering a chronic uh, suffering from having electricity issues. So them being involved in the nuclear energy, and as a country, it would really engage them in having efficiency through having electricity, and also having a lot of strategic and energy security relations with other different global countries. So here advantage China and Africa's nuclear energy market race talks about how especially China has their interest in Africa on their nuclear energy sector and their advancements. So we'll be seeing further what and all are discussed in the article, and how we as a country India, where we are standing in this global issue. So this comes in the syllabus of UPSC for mains in GS paper 2 international relations, and also in GS paper 3 under science and technology and economy. So give a read on the article. It's a very interesting article. It's like a very different perspective on to see the contraries of how Africa are dealing with their problem when it comes to the nuclear energy, and also their presence in the energy sector in itself. First, let's understand the Africa's nuclear energy market. So here, looking at the current scenario, they have only one operational nuclear plant, that is in Coburg of South Africa, and there has been expansion plans in areas such as Ghana, Nigeria, Sudan, Rwanda, Kenya, and Zambia. So the projected capacity for the year of 2035 would be almost 15,000 megawatts, and their investment potential is almost 105 billion. So here it brings in the importance of investment, especially for country Africa, where they can expand their strategical, their energy sector, and at the same time their investment sector. So looking into Africa's nuclear energy market, the key players are France. They are dominant, but right now they are losing their influence. Then USA is one of the key players. They also hosted the US Africa Nuclear Energy Summit since the 2023. So we should all know how involvement of Russia, especially during the Ukraine and Russia war, have made us to realize how it can be a very crucial aspect to depend on the fossil fuels. So the shift from fossil fuel to energy sector is one of the most prominent changes that the world is trying to see, and especially for country India, where we are trying to be even more sustainable and reduce our dependency on different countries for oil and natural gas. So Africa's nuclear energy market would be one of the most important change for Africa in itself. So here, when it comes to Russia as one of the key players, they are dealing with Egypt, Mali, Burkina Faso, Burundi, where there is slow progress of the expansion of nuclear energy market. Next is South Korea, where they have interest in Africa through the Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power Plant. And China is one of the important market leader, and they are bringing in aggressive investment strategies to get into the Africa's nuclear energy market. And that's what the article discusses about, how they bring in so much aggressive investments and so much aggressive pressure on to have their dominance in the country Africa. So looking into China's dominance in Africa's nuclear market, their early engagement was from the year of 2012 through International Atomic Energy Agency scholarship programs, and they also have strong industrial base, that is 50 plus operational reactors in China, and they are government backed investments by China in the Africa, which is led by the China General Nuclear Power, that is the CGN, and China National Nuclear Corporation, that is the CNNC. So here both are government backed investments. So we can see how China's invested in Africa's nuclear energy, where there are government backed investments in itself. And looking into their financial and technical support, they bring in infrastructure development, financing through funds, and having transmission. Now, let us see recent agreements made by China. So here in Nigeria, they brought in the Memorandum of Understanding in 2024 for nuclear power plant design, construction and operation. In Uganda, there were construction of 2 gigawatt plant. First unit of 1 gigawatt would be done by 2031. So all of these information are all in the article in itself. And next, in Kenya, research reactor by 2030 are which would be open to partnerships also. So first through government backed investments, and then opening to different partnerships. Then in Ghana, the small medium reactors with New Scale USA and Regnum Tech Group, along with large reactors with the CNNC of Africa. Next is West Africa. In West Africa, including Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali, there has been shift from Russia to China due to financial issues. So these are the recent agreements. Now let's look the implications of these agreements for India. First, looking into the current capacity of nuclear energy in Jan 2025, we are having almost 8,180 megawatts, and the target would be for 2047, which is to attain the 100 gigawatt, where we need more stable supply of the uranium. And looking into the agreements, we brought in the civil nuclear deal with Namibia in 2009. And for uranium sourcing, we have planned mining projects in Niger and Namibia. So these are the implications for India and Africa for the nuclear energy plant. Now, what would be the challenges for India here? Looking into China's dominance, first, it's hard for us to get the market entry for India, and also looking into or taking into account of the BRI initiative. Next is having debt diplomacy. Here, African nations favor Chinese firms more because there is more of funding and research and involvement by China. And also, China has given a lot of aid during debt crisis for Africa. So it would be their first policy to favor China. Next is having infrastructure gap. Here, China building key transmission networks in Africa can hinder India's presence in Africa. So, what would be the way forward for those such challenges? First is strengthening the nuclear ties through having even more strategic partnerships with China, expanding the uranium mining, so we can secure the supply chains and the storage of uranium. Next is engaging through the international solar alliances and global south. So it helps to boost collaboration, especially for Africa in the energy sector, where solar energy is one of the most important energy sector and prevailing sector. And finally, developing indigenous reactors, that is the SMRs to LRs, to promote nuclear exports and have smooth and secure supply chain management and application. So I hope the article is clear. So this is the mains question. I asked the students to put in their answer in the comment section. Discuss China's growing dominance in Africa's nuclear energy market. Then the second half is its implication for India. Next half would be the suggesting measures for India to take up to strengthen its position in the region. So this question is for 15 marks and 250 words. I asked the students to give their perspective in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you give a like, comment and share, and to further not to miss any other content, subscribe to our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.